Greetings and welcome to our daily Devo for Saturday, August the 12th today. It is going to get busy at our church the next couple of weeks. Tomorrow kicking off our one-day VBS in the afternoon from 1 to 5 p.m. Today, we, along with the Magi, find Jesus in Bethlehem. That's the title of today's Devo. The Magi find Jesus in Bethlehem. Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. And of course, that most famous question, where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? That question greatly disturbed Herod, for sure. Our author believes that the purpose of telling this story is that nonpartisan witnesses confirm Jesus was born in Bethlehem. It's not just an inside group, as some, especially in our day, would like to talk about some kind of fake news conjured up by a certain group of radicals or whatever. This is an outside group that travels from a long way away, and they have this message, and they're looking for the answer. Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? Many questions linger around the story, and every Christmas when I study these things and look at them afresh again, just who they are and how they got there and what star was it they saw, all of those things are speculated about. Many questions linger around this story. Who were these wise men? From which country did they come? What was the star, quote unquote, they were following? But the question Matthew cares about most is where. Where was Jesus born? The matter takes center stage in the first two verses, and Matthew won't allow us to take our eyes off the topic. He mentions Bethlehem 4 times in these first 12 verses, half the number of times the word appears in the New Testament. Matthew makes the case for the Bethlehem birth by using a variety of unrelated witnesses. Let's start with the Magi. We have only indirect evidence as to their origins. A case can be made for Babylon or Persia or Arabia. What we know for sure is why they have come. They were looking for the newborn king, guided by an aberration in the night sky that eventually brings them to Bethlehem. But not before their search takes a temporary detour to the capital city of Jerusalem, where they seek the assistance of Herod the Great. He was the Roman appointed king of Judea, but had no information on the whereabouts of this newborn king. Eventually, he too would point us to Bethlehem, but using the tips of his soldiers' spears. Herod brings in the third set of witnesses, the respected Jewish teachers at the temple. They pointed to the prophecy in Micah chapter 5 and verse 2, which stated that this special child would be found in nearby Bethlehem. Note that none of these individuals had something to gain by lying about the birthplace of Jesus. Consequently, the Magi, Herod, and Jewish scholars became unbiased witnesses who confirm that the birthplace of Jesus is indeed Bethlehem. Why all the effort? Matthew cared because only someone born in Bethlehem of Judea qualified as the Messiah, the promised Savior from sin. Because Jesus grew up and spent most of his life in Nazareth, many living in the first century lost sight of the fact that Jesus was born in Bethlehem. Consequently, many concluded that Jesus of Nazareth was not qualified to be the Messiah. John chapter 7, verses 41 and 42. And that is why Matthew privileges this question above the others that we might ask. In this story, he uses non-partisan witnesses to confirm that Jesus was born in Bethlehem. I would add into this, when they come and they don't know directly to go to Bethlehem, but they're looking for a newborn king, so what better place to go than the capital, Jerusalem? They have a question that stirs the pot. Where is he who's born king of the Jews? Maybe they expected Herod's wife or one of his wives or whoever he was married to at the time may have had given birth. He has no clue. He's the king of Israel. He has no clue. So he calls the scribes. He calls the holy men who study the scriptures, who know the word. They have nothing to gain by giving the correct answer, but they do. Hey, it's right there in Micah 5:2. But you, O Bethlehem Ephratah, least among the princes of Judah, out of you will come one whose going forths are from long ago. Matthew wrote his gospel with a Jewish audience in mind. Repeatedly, this happened, this was said, to fulfill the prophecies given to us by our prophets. Here's a verification that this child born in Bethlehem is indeed the fulfillment of all that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob guaranteed to us. And so he brings in these wise men, these Magi, from another place altogether, but they're looking for this king of the Jews. Here's Herod, whose answer to his problem of a rival king will be to send his soldiers to hunt down every male child in the Bethlehem area, 2 years old and under, and put them to death. He certainly is not interested in the truth, but it comes out. And those who advised him, I don't know what happened to them, but I'm sure he wasn't happy that they gave this correct answer that sent these wise men on to Bethlehem, where they did indeed find the Christ child. It's amazing who God uses. We certainly wouldn't write Herod into the script in a positive way, but even people like him, the Lord can put in a place that will serve his purposes. Those who knew the scriptures and yet later, as Jesus is an adult, they will disavow that he is who he claims to be, and will seek to twist the scriptures to discredit him. But our God, our mighty God, gets it done. And this is an amazing story, the Christmas story. I think at times we don't get the power of it because we're so busy with our trees and lights and gifts and cultural Christmas songs, although I call them seasonal songs for the most part, since they mention nothing about Christmas, just snow and sleds and Merry Christmas kind of stuff. This is our God. This is our Savior. And verified by a number of sources, some of them not favorable to it, and yet they couldn't disavow the truth. Hopefully we never, ever disavow the truth of who our Savior is, where he came from, what he came to do. Blessings to you today on this Saturday.